The following roster and modding were provided by a willing individual. All remarks are meant for enjoyment and educational purposes. Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we're going to be starting a new series. Hopefully it will be a very fun series, and that is going to be mod shaming. In this first video, I will give it a little bit of an introduction just so people understand what's going on from here on forward, and then on details of how you two can participate we'll get to towards the end. But basically what we're doing right now is an individual gave me their account and said, hey, I want you to mod shame these 5 characters of this one specific team so that I can improve and get better and hopefully have a little bit of fun while doing it. So that is our goal today, and just for full transparency, the team that we're going to be looking at is Mauldalorians. So specifically Maul, Jango, Bo-Katan, Canderous, and actually Droidika is what our individual gave us. So that being said, let's get to some shaming. So first off, Maul. So if you're using Mauldalorians, right away you don't want protection and you want health. So let's see how our friend here is doing. Okay, wow. So already really ridiculous mod coming up. This is going to be really hard to shame. 27 speed, 8% offense. I guess the one thing that we could probably shame a little bit is this is a stupid amount of protection that's kind of useless. You're really not getting anything out of this because Maul's Anguish is going to eat through that immediately, and he doesn't get to translate any of that to damage like he would with health. Going over to this other mod, still really good though. That's hard to shame here. I guess the crit chance is useless, but I would put this mod on. Health and speed. This is going to be very hard to shame this one. Wow, another stupid high speed mod with offense, and even this one has health percentage. All right, so this is already looking really good. We might not have that many issues. The only thing that I am concerned about a little bit thus far looking at this is this might be too much speed in the sense that it's just wasted. And we're gonna have to look at the rest of the team to see what his turn order is going forward, because if he's using Droidika on the team, plus 25s are really kind of wasted on Maul, and you'd be better off going for even like flat offense or percent health, which I guess he is here. And these could be used on a character that really cares about both offense and speed. That being said, let's look at the arrow. Still really ridiculous speed marks here with offense, and then a little bit of protection in that. There's really not a lot. Yeah, I think if anything, that one's actually really good for its offense. And the square here, all 25s, and this one has a ridiculous amount of health. So overall, the only thing that I have to say about this that could possibly be wrong is Maul is just too darn fast for his own good. Really not a lot that I can throw against you on him. That being said, I want to switch over and see how fast Droidika actually is. So Droidika, how this team works with the Mauldalorians is Droidika has to go first out the gate before everyone, and when he does and he rolls, he's going to trigger the frenzy on Maul to make sure that he can go next. And now again, Maul needs to be heavily built with offense and health so that he deals a bunch of damage. The health transfers into his Anguish, and then offense, he does true damage, so you don't really need to worry a lot about crit chance or crit damage. So the only real reason that Droidika is here is to go first. He does have an assist that'll go into Jango because he's a separatist, but let's look at these mods. So at plus 27, really nothing else matters. Another plus 27. These are gosh darn ridiculous. This is not a very good mod shaming, I will not lie. And hopefully going forward, we'll be able to have a little bit more fun with this, because this is honestly so ridiculous. So he's sitting at a 270 speed, and we can see with Droidika's unique, or at least I can see with Droidika's unique right now, that is going to give him an active 405 speed, which is going to rival most modern teams. Someone's going to have to take in something really expensive like CLS to be able to beat this. Like troopers are not outspeeding this Droidika. I was going to say the only thing that I can really make a remark about here is that he has a full health set and he doesn't need it, but then again, there's a 27. So the only thing that I can really offer is maybe you could find more speed if you broke up the health set that's really unnecessary. Droidika here, first and foremost, he is there to trigger Maul's frenzy, and maybe even offense actually might be better over health, but really that's his main job. Survivability isn't really something that he's looking forward to. So yeah, we have yet to find really anything to shame. Other than that, it's just mostly on the right track. I guess we can go look at Jango next. Jango is pretty important as far as damage. he's going to be the one that's going to be honing on things, because whenever Maul goes in to use his Mass Assist, Jango's going to be the one that's going to do most of the damage when he's coming in, especially for this roster, who has Jango sitting at R7 and Canderous down at gear 11. So it's not going to be Canderous doing the damage, and even Maul at R3 isn't going to do a lot of damage, but Jango's going to have to pull some weight, especially considering Maul is going to be putting out debuffs, and those debuffs are going to let Jango double tap our opponent. So up first, Jango. Offense, very good. Not a lot of speed, doesn't need it as much. What we're really looking for here is offense and even a little bit of potency and enough crit chance that you're comfortably over 100%. So let's see overall how we're doing on crit chance. So physical crit chance is low. Really need to get that up. You want that to be about 115% if at all possible. When you're under 100%, you run the risk that you're just not going to crit and you lose out on a significant amount of damage, especially if you're running a CD triangle and a CD set, which you are. That being said, protection is really nice. He does gain a nice health boost on top of that, but the way that on top of his kit, but the way that the Mauldalorians work is Bo-Katan actually gives a really gross protection boost. The protection actually ends up being more helpful, and also she enables the team to recover it. So I like that there. Not a lot of these are 6E, and if you're going to 6E in attackers mods, like this one would be a really good candidate. Number one, it has high speed, so it's going to have a lot of value going forward, but it's also going to give you a 3% offense increase, and then on top of that, you're going to be able to double down on that crit chance to be able to get closer. If at all possible, you know, you work with what you got, but try to get a crit chance set on him to get him above. If not, potency maybe, because he has almost no potency, and while we want him to do a lot of damage, when he can land the healing immunity, that can make a huge difference. This needs to be 6D'd. While these hits here aren't great, this is going to go from a 1.5 offense all the way up to a 6% offense. Again, overall, I like it. Jango doesn't need the most ridiculous speeds. He can always take more, but plus 15s are very much where he should be. The only thing that I want to heavily critique here is going to be the crit chance. Should be a lot higher if you can get it. In 6E, some of these mods, they're going to have a real offensive play. They're going to really start killing things that otherwise you wouldn't kill before because of that stat boost. Next up is going to be Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan has very few jobs on the Mauldalorian team. Pretty much she has two. One, survive, so that you can actually recover your health and protection when you're attacking on a turn. And then on top of that, you want to make sure she has a decent amount of potency that she can actually land her AoE days when she does it. So it looks like we're doing well on the protection area. She doesn't really need crit damage, and this is low speed anyways. Her damage is going to be very minuscule as what this team is going to put out. Maul, Jango, and even Canderous are going to be the ones that are going to do that. So really, this needs to be protection or some type of survivability. The cross, I think we have a much better chance at looking at potency, or even a potency set, or realistically both. Because our base potency is okay, but we really want it above 100% so that anyone who has any type of tenacity, especially Piet, if someone's trying to, again, counter this with troopers, for you to be able to stop them right out the gate. I'm really not too crazy about speed on her. Again, once she gets her turn, she gets her crippling strike out. She doesn't really need to take a turn again. So the speed's okay, but work on getting the potency there. And then if at all possible, swap out the crit damage for protection. Even defense or health would probably be better than that. Again, this team gets 20% max protection for each Mandalorian ally, so that's up to 80% in this exact comp. So she can really take advantage of that, just like she is on these bottom two mods. Next up is going to be Canderous. And this is supposed to be mod shaming, which we're not doing a very good job of, but we could really... Oh, okay. Now you're just making things easy. Okay, so this needs to change. Like, this is bad. There are a few times when I open up on an enemy's roster and I look at it and I just get a little stunned. Having level 12 mods is never good because you're costing yourself a primary stat. And I don't know why you would do this unless you're running really, really stinking low on credits. So don't do this. That's definitely a big one. The next thing is speed also is not really that important on Canderous. That's not going to be one of the main factors we're going to be looking at. Reality, it is actually just going to be more along the lines of raw offense. One of the issues with Canderous is even at relics, crit chance can be really hard to come by with him. And right now, especially with the Datacron, I guess this goes beyond Datacrons, he's not going to be up against a lot of teams where you're going to have a lot of opportunities to crit. And then again, this is different from Jango, who naturally has a really high crit chance, and he can actually get out there and land those crits. So I personally would just abandon crit chance and crit damage entirely and mod him for straight offense. potency isn't really a priority on him. One of the nice things about Canderous, when he's going to be constantly coming in on those mass assists, is that eventually Canderous attacks for a third time and inflicts tenacity down for 2 turns. And once that tenacity down sticks, then every single debuff that he has, primarily his dots, are going to be going right after that. The only reason that I can think to not do it is, I guess you could get offense down for 2 turns on all enemies. That's kind of nice, because typically you're not going to be able to hit all 5 enemies with tenacity down. But yeah, definitely got to change this. Night and day between looking at Maul's mods and now looking at Canderous. Yeah, I don't really like any of this, actually. Offense primary here, definitely do that. Offense primary down here, already have it. Again, protection is ideal there as well, so looking good for the most part. One thing I should add with the Mauldalorian team is one of these characters is ultimately going to have to become a tank with extra defense, although normally the best one to end up doing is armor because she has such high defense, but that's not really your comp. I guess one thing to notice is probably going to end up being Jango, just because he gets such a big boost in his health that maybe we come in here and we upgrade his defense a little bit as well on that diamond, just because Maul gives a stupid amount of defense to whoever's taunting. Ultimately, that's going to be passing around, so I'm not too invested in who gets that to start off, but it's just nice to remember who is going to and how that can affect your match. So yeah, overall, really hard mod shame. Hopefully we get some better ones in the future, but Maul, cut down on his speed, man. He really doesn't need plus 25s, plus 15s, plus 20s. Sure, you want him to take turns, but the whole point of this team with Droidika is Droidika goes, triggers Frenzy, Maul goes, Canderous goes next just because the massive amount of turn meter is getting, and then Maul should hopefully just rip everyone to shreds. I guess if you don't need the fast offense mods anywhere else, they can stay on him. Other thing is getting more potency on Bo-Katan, and then just focusing on Canderous for damage. Right now, it's a little irrelevant and a little awkward because it's gear 11, and how much damage is gear 11 Canderous doing? Not a lot. But if you ever get him to gear 12, or even to a low relic amount, that offense will make a huge difference. So if you guys liked this type of video, this type of series, let me know in the comments how it was, or if you think we can do anything different. And if we get a lot of positive response, what I'm going to ask is anyone who isn't already into the Discord, go into the Discord, give your account, give your ally code along with the 5 characters you would likely meet a mod shame. And hopefully we'll have a lot of fun, similar as we did to the level 12 Canderous mod. Until the next time, thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay awesome.